Hi, welcome. On this video, as part of the service dog training with Tiny, I'm going to be demonstrating the off-leash transition. Again, focusing on the relationship side of things. And so when you start to get into transitioning off-leash, it's really important that the transition happens through the right sequence. Okay? What I'm doing here is I'm using the leash as a connection point, okay, through specific interactions to fade in. It's all about making sure Tiny's perceiving me within the right role. And then, after a period of time, as meaningful influence starts to take hold, as I begin to fade in more and more, then you can start to move closer to off-leash, going off-leash, technical off-leash control. Now here in this video, you're going to see me doing this transition. Now here I don't have a leash. This is where my arm, okay, my fingers become the connection point. And I still have a pressure collar on, Tiny to create leverage. Now here's the thing, as you're getting this going, okay, this is where I'll use the circle method, okay, to help to establish this transition. Okay, and therefore I'm using my body, I'm using my legs as a bit of a guide as I'm moving into performing the circle method. I'm making a little bit of contact, I'm establishing a little bit more influence in terms of how I'm using my body to help to nudge and help to kind of fade in. And as I'm doing this, you'll see me start to let go. Okay, so I'm going to use, right away, I'm going to start to line this up. Now, because, again, a little more difficult, you have a smaller dog, of course, you're going to have to use a leash to transition that way, and then, you know, do it a little bit different. But when you have a dog that is tiny size, it makes it, of course, a lot more easier to do because of the size and everything lines up in terms of how I'm taking hold of the collar here. But here you're going to see me again do the transition. As I'm moving again, I'm going to be stopping a lot too, so you're going to see me actually working in terms of the service dog part of that, where I want Tiny to pace me. So I'm going to really get into, you're going to see me really working her, getting me to fade in so that my hands are moved, and that I'm still getting her to totally focus on me as I'm working this sequence. So again, we're moving forward, as I move forward with Tiny, and this is where you want to use the, when you're doing this type of method, you want to use your hand and finger just like you would a leash, okay? The arm becomes the leash, okay? Same thing, just one finger here. And this is the thing, you don't want to do this until it lines up. You don't want to even think about doing this, because it's not about, here's the thing, is people want to get an off-leash technique, distance work, and they're looking at the picture, okay, a certain way, and the dog can be totally in control, okay? And it's just about appearances. Here, this is not about appearances, this is about lining up the right way. Now here you see me just shuffle. This is where I get my expectation, just with, you know, making sure I'm getting her back. Now I'm going to remove my hand here in a second. Now here, if there's any little bit of hesitation, take a hold of the leash. If there's an awareness that comes with the dog in terms of sensing that you're not, you don't have a hold of her or him, just go back like I did here. There's a little bit of awareness of that. But just do it in a smooth way. Don't make a big deal about it. As soon as you have the trick here, is as soon as you notice the dog has an awareness that you're letting go and wants to kind of start to not respond, then just, again, reattach your finger and start to do it again. Okay, see? Again, I don't want her sniffing the floor, nothing like that. And usually a little tip here, when you're going to let go, if you're just starting this, let go on a corner when you're starting to edge in here with your leg a little bit. See this? So if you're going to let go, you want to do it when you're rounding a corner a little bit. Again, awareness that I've let go. Yep. Same thing, you let go. Do it when you got a little bit of momentum. You're coming around a little bit of a corner. Now assess it, there's no rush doing it because this is a transition. So same thing, there's the awareness that same thing, when the dog begins to hesitate a little bit and you let him go, just take a hold of hey, feel. Feel. Sit. Down. Sit. 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 Feel. Sit. Line it up. Because here's the thing. You see me doing this, it's going to seem a little different because there is a point where the dog's going to realize that you're not in contact. You remove your hand, there's going to be that transition. When that happens, again, you see me using my words, my words are starting to have an impact. Okay, so I'm using commands now to make that adjustment, okay, to create control, to realign it. So same thing, I let go, and now I'm trying to realize, hey, Dale doesn't have a hold of me, what do I do? Then I use a command to bring her alongside me, okay? Heel. Honey. Sit. Heel. Just working it. Yep. See? There you go. So you kind of use my knee as I come around the corner here a little bit, kind of edge towards the camera. This is when you kind of use your knee as a kind of a nudging effect to help the line. So it's all about, again, understanding where you're at in the relationship. When you start to get into testing, okay, the picture through off-leash, you really want to make sure you're really committed to integrity through the leash first, okay, to really line it up, to fade in at a high level. Then you can start to think about going off leash, but doing it in this type of transition where I'm using the circle method. The circle method really helps to create a really high level of focus. It lets me let go, and so I'm using my body, okay, certain ways to help to kind of establish control through off leash. And as you can see, it's really starting to line up. It's not, and here's the thing, is that you're doing it, always really focus on making sure to go through a sequence first. So it's not just about getting, a lot of times people just focus on, I want to get the dog off leash, I want to create some distance, I want to, want the dog to be able to stay, and I walk, I mean, that can be all, that can look good, but not be good in terms of control, okay? It's understanding. You really want to commit to following the right sequence first off leash, then you can start to let go and things line up properly. So you want to make sure when you're going off leash that the picture is solid, okay, that you are faded in at the right level. And again, and then things are solid. You're not going to have to worry about something happening, a squirrel comes out or another dog comes out, the dog is bolting off to the side, okay? You really want to make sure that you're establishing or fading in at a high level through specific interactions, lots of really close-in type of leash work first, and then make the transition. So Connie's doing absolutely fantastic. We're still working a lot on the picking up part of picking up objects part, the stand command, we're doing lots of that too. So we're just in phase 2. But again, the folks are really on tying this in, so when she goes back with her owners, I'm really going to be working alongside of her owners a lot, okay, to make sure this mirrors up properly. Because again, same thing, same rule applies. When a dog is gaining a lot of control, talking to the service dog side of things, when the dog is gaining a lot of control, even through her owners or through the dog's owners, you really want to make sure you're working directly with the owners to transition, to make sure that the way she perceives you as a trainer, the dog's going to perceive them the same way, okay? And that takes some work. So, because the dog might respond really well to me and release a lot of control for me, but because she gained a lot of control through her owner, she had, say, a year, then, when, you just think somehow you're just going to let the dog, just going to transition without putting any time or effort into making sure the perceptions are changing with them too, you can be deceived because you can gain back control very quickly through them. So you really have to make sure you're putting the time in as well. This is why when I'm doing, say, board training, I'm only doing it for 2 weeks. Or if I'm doing service dog training, I'm doing it for 2 weeks and back with the owners for 2 weeks. So I'm making sure it's going to line up properly, not just for me, but for them as well. So again, she's responding great for me. But again, we're putting the time in with her owners as well, which is all part of that process. So we're just about not even halfway through. So we still have lots of time to transfer over with them as well. But again, she's doing really well. You see through the off-leash side of things, just shows you, okay, the fading in part of it's really coming along nicely. And things are going to line up really, really well. And we're only